All right, we live. Peace YouTube. Peace Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, etc. Wherever you're tuning in from. You're tuned into the Power of Ownership Podcast. This is your host, Brandon B. Dixon. If you're not familiar with the show, I'm an author, published author. This is my book right here, The Sales, The Nucleus of Any Profession, out right now on Amazon. Go get you a copy. You want to learn how to sell and market. Mortgage broker. I'm a podcaster, YouTuber. Also, I'm an entrepreneur, a serial entrepreneur, and very successful entrepreneur at that. My handle is Billionaire Loan Officer on YouTube. Right now, we actually have a actual contest going on right now we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers before the end of the week. So I'm giving out a big screen TV, a flat screen 50-inch. If you subscribe to the YouTube, subscribe, like, comment. We're building this up. People that's been following me for the past year, 2018, on the podcast, on the Apple Podcast, Spotify, they already familiar with the program. So if you're not, give you a brief introduction. Power of Ownership started out as ownership of the mind, body, and the soul, and businesses, and ownership of houses, intellectual property, businesses, different things like that. And we since bridged the gap and went a little bit more metaphysical and more spiritual, so to say. So you can't have one without the other. So it goes hand in hand. And most people are talking corporate success, but nobody talks about the foundation on how can you get corporate success. Can't get corporate success without a good foundation, a good spiritual foundation. We kind of go into that a little bit. And I'm going to go into that a little bit in this episode. But first thing first, I wanted to get into why I'm solo this week. It's twofold. Number one, a lot of my audience from the older audience from the podcast, which is strictly audio, is a different type of crowd. It's more cerebral. People listen to the podcast more on while driving, their think time, or while working out, doing their cardio, to kind of listen to my voice and get their motivation from there. So I got a nice little follow. I can always do more. If you're listening to this, please favorite this on your Spotify and get all the updates on the actual podcast when it comes out. If you're on YouTube, go ahead and check us out on the audio as well. It comes out simultaneously. Secondly, I got kind of mixed reactions. Some people like the guest stars, some people don't. So I'm gonna keep the guest stars going, but once a month I'm gonna have a solo from my desk. This is my desk right here on the 7th floor here in Memorial in Houston, Texas. I'm gonna keep one episode a month strictly solo, and then we kind of do some just deep thinking on a solo tip and no guest star. But keep the guest stars flowing. I'm booked almost all the way in April. If you want to get on the show, just give me a call, 832-775-8357. Or DM me on any social, Billionaire Loan Officer, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, so on and so forth. I wanted to give you an update on the new shows that I have is coming out as well. I was thinking about expanding the channel. I know it's brand new on YouTube, but just giving you more and more content. I want to have something daily or semi-daily content is coming as well. If you've been following the show, I'm about to lose 100 or so pounds. So I'm thinking about a show that I'm going to do mobile. And some of my best thoughts come from when I'm riding to the gym. So I'm going to do this daily. I'll pop up at 5:30 every morning. And I've been fighting it for the last few years to do the 5:30. I normally pop up around 8 or 9-ish, then try to work out. But I see why a lot of successful people pop up before daylight, because damn near your whole day is pushed back because people don't operate on the same time. I'm more of a 24-hour guy. People that know me, I answer my phone 12, 11 o'clock at night. But a lot of people are daytime people. So I'm going to kind of accommodate, and I've been pushing it back. I'm going to kind of accommodate their schedule. So I want to get my workout in before everybody else wakes up. That way I'm ready to go when 8 o'clock, when people start texting me, and the majority of people start texting me and start emailing me and so on and so forth. So I want to have all that workout done. So I'm going to be coming live from the car on my way to the gym with my deep thoughts. And sometimes I have some of the best thoughts on my way to the gym. So that's going to get your daily motivation. So be on the lookout for that. That's going to be coming out this week. Thoughts riding to the gym. Also, what I'm going to do every week before the Power of Ownership podcast, I'm going to do the pre-podcast live on Instagram. So if you want to ask any questions, or if you want any questions to be, or any subject matter that you want covered on the show, get with me on live, and I will go over that, and we'll, sometimes we'll go face to face live if you want to answer any questions. More produced content is coming. So again, this is just the beginning, family. We're going to get better and better. Our actual intros coming, all that's coming. So we're going to make this a better and better show as it goes on. So look out for the pre-podcast coming every Sunday morning. One other thing I wanted to go over is the contest right now. Like this, I kind of briefly went over it, but let me go over it in detail. Subscribe right now to my YouTube. March 31st, which is next Sunday, I'm going to pick out a winner. I'm going to draw a raffle. Everybody subscribe this week. And you're going to win if your name is pulled, you're going to win a 50-inch 1080p flat screen TV. So, if you got 3 or 4 YouTube channels, go ahead and subscribe to them all. We need to get our subscribers up. That's what we're doing. We're doing a little bit of stimulus, a little chum to actually stimulate that YouTube. Try to get to 1 million followers. So it all starts somewhere. So I appreciate the support. There's people that's been following me since day one. Tell a friend to tell a friend, and we're going to keep on building this thing. I wanted to start this show, and I'm not going to keep y'all too long, especially on a solo show. So I'm not going to keep y'all too long on this Sunday. But I wanted y'all to get y'all weekly advice and weekly motivation. One other thing I have to plug before I go into the show. My second book is damn near halfway done. I'm not going to reveal the name, but it's a little bit different than the first book, Sales, the Nucleus of Any Profession. It's more on a metaphysical tip, and it's really, really good content. It's going to be it's beastly. That's going to be hitting the stores probably fall, hopefully fall, winter this year, 2019. Also, the second edition of the book, which is going to be twice as long as the first edition. This is kind of the quick reference guide. The second edition of the book is going to be coming out before Sales, the Nucleus of Any Profession is going to be coming out before the end of the year. So we're looking for 2 more titles from me on the author's tip. Also, my webinar is going to be coming out by the summer, 6-Figure Sales Success, where I dive deep into the granular, the anecdotal, the questions and answers about the book, the 7-step process. This is all to help you sell, because again, if you can't sell, you can't market, you're going to die out pretty soon. That's where the economy is going, period. And that's kind of the subject I wanted to go over. It's a great segue into what I want to go over on my first topic this week is marketing. Like, what is marketing? Why do we need to market? For people that's coming from a W-2 mentality that, you want to clock in and clock out, and you're trying to get out of that mold, you want to make some extra money. Why is marketing so important? That's what I want to go over for this first segment. First of all, let's talk about it. What is marketing? People confuse, and I go over this on my syllabus in my training classes. I'm going to give you a little sneak preview for free. People confuse marketing with promotion. People think marketing is promotion. That's false. Promotion is part of marketing, but it's not marketing in its entirety. Marketing is simply this. Marketing is creating a market for yourself. Period. Promotion, which is, hey, I'm a loan officer. Hey, I'm a realtor. Hey, I'm this, I'm that. Here's my company. That's part of it, but it only should be about 20% of your marketing. Because what happens is, especially nowadays with the social media, and I see this happens a lot, especially with realtors and especially with small business owners. All they do is promote. They get on these social media and they look at their page. I'm a realtor. 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 Your favorite realtor. Hey, this is a realtor. Who cares? Everybody's doing that. What do you want to be? Who do you want to market to? And what do you want them to see you as? That's another thing. Let's start from there. First of all, marketing is creating a market for yourself. Second question you want to ask you, who do I want to market to? If your answer is everybody, you're going to fail. You have to start off, if you want to save the world, you want to start off with your block. You want to start off with a small niche, grow that niche, master that niche, then expand. Who are you is what you want to ask yourself. Who do you want to market to? And then like those who like you. So say, for example, with me, my handle is Billionaire Loan Officer. That's me. I've been successful in business. I've been over 15 plus years. I've been a sales trainer at Gallery Furniture, corporate trainer. So I create six-figure talent. I've made seven figures before. I'm trying to get to that 8 and 9 figures soon. It's an aspirational title which fits me. Who are you? Whether I'm your cook, that's a realtor. I'm your Christian realtor. I'm your Islamic realtor. Whatever you want to be. Which niche do you want to start? If you look at my social media, I'm a Saints fan. I'm a Lakers fan, newly turned vegan. I'm a Star Trek fan. My posts are about those things. And in turn, you're going to attract people that's like you. With the social media age, stuff is becoming more and more compartmentalized. So people are not going to do business with you just because you're a realtor. And we talk about this in a book as well. The first chapter is reciprocity. That's why you need to get the book. If you don't have reciprocity, you don't have anything. So, and what I mean by reciprocity, if something does, and what it means is simply this: somebody does something nice for you, you in turn feel obligated to do something nice for them. And what we're doing on a marketing tip is we're creating content that serves as freebies to that particular customer. Now, it's a two-way street. It's a fine line. I see a lot of people with the tips. Oh, here's the tip. All right, that still doesn't create the obligation, so, and it's only a tip in their particular field. I see these realtors with these abstract tips. Oh, this is closing costs. This is this. They're going to take that information and still doesn't have any bite to have them do business with you. So you have to find something else. If you're a military veteran, you want to market yourself as that. Show your military background. If you're into food, teach the people how to do a recipe, one of your favorite recipes. Then, oh, by the way, every 5 posts, bam, I'm a realtor. So after you develop that following, like I have, look at my Instagram. I have 15,000 people on my Instagram. YouTube is brand new. It's only like less than a month old. So give us some time on that. If you look at my Facebook, 50,000 followers on my Facebook. People study and people follow me on my Facebook because of my deep thoughts and my motivation and stuff like that. So I'm combining the two together. So I've been giving for over a year, giving, and letting them pick my brain. Now, in turn, when they go to do business, if they're looking for a loan officer, who do you think they're going to turn to first? Or if they're looking to increase their income, who book do you think they're going to buy? See, that's what marketing is. I created a market for myself by gathering a following that likes me. And in turn, now that I have product, they already like me. I've already done half of the battle. They already like me because they're following me, they interact with me, and they've been doing so for a while. Now you can hit them with product and your service. If you have pages, and I see this with realtors all the time, oh, I'm going to get somebody else to work my social media. You're going to fail. Wish I could, they put social media secondary. That's not how it works. You're not going to survive. In this day and age, you got to be high touch and high tech. It goes hand in hand. You can't have one without the other. If you meet them high touch, what I mean by high touch analog, if I meet you at an event or, out and about on the street, I have to convert you to high tech, meaning that I have to follow you on social media. Everybody has social media, Facebook, so on and so forth. Or vice versa. If I meet you in cyberspace or as a follower, I have to in turn you to high touch. I have to meet you in person. I have to take you to lunch. I have to give you, a face-to-face training session, something to convert you to where I'm real at that point. And we go over all this in my syllabus in my training class. So I'm just giving y'all a sneak peek on what I'm working with here. And again, I don't give out all of the answers here for free on social media and on my podcast. You have to tune in more to the podcast in order to get these nuggets. I'm just giving you nuggets here because that's the thing. And I'm going to touch on this later on in the show is that you got to learn how to monetize your ideas. And we touched on this in a podcast earlier this year. You got to monetize your ideas. So yes, I'm appreciative of you taking your time and watching me, but you got to watch further in order to piece the puzzle together. So it's just what it is. Just giving you a little nugget on what marketing is. And I want to go over why most fail to make the conversion from W-2 to being 1099 or self-employed or owning their own business. Is because they have not embraced sales and marketing yet. They think that you're going to put in a portion of the effort that you do with working with somebody else. Think about it. You get hired for a job. You're putting 40, 50 plus hours in. And you're getting this menial paycheck. Why do you think in your mind you're going to make 10 times as much money and you're putting a fraction of the time in? Doesn't make sense. And keep in mind, when you're W-2, you're just a fraction of what the business is. You do one task. You're the clerk. You're the drive-through expert or whatever. You're washing, you're washing lettuce, whatever. You have a whole marketing department that's driving the customers in. You have a whole legal department that's doing stuff legally. You got a whole tasting department that's doing tasting new products. So all of these compartments fit in together. When you're self-employed, you are everything. You are the marketing department. You are the product taster. You are the product tester. You're everything. And a lot of people don't grasp that idea. If nothing happens, if it doesn't happen, that's because you didn't make it happen. So a lot of people want to have that W-2 mentality where I could clock in and clock out and be successful in business. It doesn't work like that. When you're in business, it's a 7-day-a-week, 24-hour thing. You are the business 24/7, period. So if you're a realtor, you need to have a button or something like that. In fact, I keep this on at all times. If you can see this, let me grab this here. This is my name tag. Have that on at all times. At least, if you're going to the gym, you need to have something that's advertising you. Hey, I sell houses. Or I'm a plumber, or I'm an electrician. Whatever you doing, that's your own business. I own a restaurant. Something that's advertising your business 24/7. Give you a little quick story. Everybody knows Matrix Mac is my mentor. He's originally from Starksville, Mississippi. The way he got this idea from having the mattresses on, in his hometown of Starksville, Mississippi, he had a guy that had a tire shop. And this guy would wear a tire around his waist with suspenders. And he would wear it everywhere. He would wear it to ball games. He would wear it to church. He would wear this to post offices. And he became known in this little town as the Tire Man. And he sold a lot of tires. You need to have something with your brand on 24/7. Remember, you are the marketing department. There is no such thing as clocking out anymore when you're in your own business. That's what people get confused. They want to be on the same W-2 time frame where I can clock in and then I want to be myself. I want to walk through the mall without being worried about the next opportunity. That's not how it goes. When you're in the mall, you never know when that next opportunity comes in. You're in the mall and you got a big shirt that says I sell houses, and you walk in the store and somebody might be looking to sell their house. That might be $10,000, $12,000, $20,000 right there that you missed out on because you want to be clocked out. Doesn't work like that. You never know when your next opportunity is around the corner. That's one of the reasons why people fail. They want to have that clock in and clock out mentality. There is no clocking out when you own your own business. That's one of the things. Look at this. This is Sunday. I just got finished from my open houses. I went live earlier. It's just what it is. I'm not getting paid to do this, but eventually I will. this will pay off. And that's a lot of people. That's the second thing I want to go over. People still have that W-2 mentality is they want to trade time for money. And when you're an entrepreneur, you do things that build up in the long run. You're not going to get paid for every hour that you put in. Think about it. You're putting in, let's take for example, as a realtor, as opposed to a W-2 where you worked the 40 hours and let's say you made $1,000 that week. I could put that same 40 hours I do into prospecting, and let's say it took 4 weeks to close it, so that's $4,000. I close on one house that's, let's say, $200,000. That's the average house in Texas. As a realtor, that's $6,000. So I've already made time and a half for that whole month's earnings, as opposed to clocking in for that one transaction. And if I promise you, if you put in 40 hours of prospecting and marketing, I guarantee you're going to have more than one transaction closed that month. So just if you close one, that's more than $2,000 more than you working 40 hours at this menial job. But you actually have to work. What happens is people get their license, realtor license, or they get their business and just, hey, I got my LLC. And they think automatically it's just going to plop down from the sky and you're automatically going to be successful. Doesn't work like that, family. Second thing I want to go over, this ties into my next subject, is that the reason why there's only 10% of people that actually are successful, or quote unquote successful. Now let's define success. I always like to define success. Success to me is when the money works for you, not when you have to work for the money. If you have to get up every day, clock in and clock out just to make a living, just to make your bills, that's not success. Buying a new car, to me, that's not success unless that car is going to yield you some money, unless you're a delivery driver, you have your own delivery service business. Buying a new purse, buying a new pair of shoes, that's not success to me. Looking fly, that's not success to me. Success is when I'm making plays, I'm making first downs, I'm making touchdowns to win this game. And the game that we're playing right now, capitalism, is those who work the hardest and have the best strategic plan win. And what I mean by win is that they have the opportunity to not work for money, but have the money work for them. And then in turn, they're able to create the reality that they want. Not only create jobs for the community, give back and invest their time into stuff that means something to them, or they could create whatever they want and have people orchestrated and working for them according to how they see fit. They are the creators. That is a win. That is success. When you're clocking in and clocking out and you're being orchestrated, that's not a win. Even though you could go to a Whataburger, even though you could go to a family reunion, are you really truly free? Or are you being led? You're not free until you're on this other side. And when you're on this other side, you gotta do some real life-changing things. And that's what the Power of Ownership podcast is about. It's making that transition from being led and being the victim of, not really the victim, being the creation. Now I want to switch it up and I want to be the creator. I want to have my kids to have a better launch point than I did to soar. And if this is not something that you desire, you're on vacation. I like my life. I like being led around. I like going 9 to 5 and then, going to vacation, once or twice a year. This might not be the podcast for you. This is for those that have that burn, that desire, that passion in their belly to come on a winning team, to switch sides, to be the master of their own destiny, to have that their own destiny, to master that inner self and become the creator and have that intergenerational wealth that, can have their kids influence in the world. not to be obscure, where you, after you die, 15 people come to your funeral and 15 minutes later, everybody forgot who you were. You didn't do anything, or you didn't place anything on this earth to better it. Is that what you want? Well, this might not be the podcast for you. I was talking to a specific audience. It's a good segue to my next and my last point that I want to make. And, I get a lot of, you listen to the past few, I'm kind of evolving into my mission, which is to kind of bridge that gap between success and spirituality. You can't have one without the other. A lot of people, and I see a lot of quote unquote influencers making that mistake. They 99% supposed to be the techniques on how to make you rich, and there's 1% on that higher power, and it should be at least 50-50, if not 60-40. And that's going inside yourself and meditating and becoming a better you before you can influence the world. You can't have success without that higher power. Period. Period. If you listen to my podcast before, I always say that God is a verb, and I want to break that down a little bit further. And the second catchphrase is personal responsibility is your only savior. Let me break that down, and then I'm going to go ahead and let y'all go. I'm not going to keep y'all too long, family. If you look at the etymology of the word God, it's a 12th century Germanic word, and it means to invoke. And when I say I mean heavily melanated people from African descent, or if you're from Aboriginal descent, even if you trace it back. And I'm not the guy to get into the knowledge as far as debates. That's not what I'm here for. I am the understanding. I'm the actual action. So I'm never going to debate anybody. I'm never going to swap ideas back and forth. I don't care if your mind is slightly different than my mind. As long as you are showing improvement, as long as you showing results, you don't have to think like I can exactly think. When I state opinion, is my opinion, and this is what I've been led to realize and internalize and alchemize. And if it helps you, it helps you. If it doesn't, take it with a grain of salt. But what I'm saying is that people from heavily melanated descent, the original people on the planet, concept of God was different than the current Roman-centric, Eurocentric vision of God. We knew that it was something internal. We are almost like our body. First of all, we are not the body. The body is like a cell phone, and I am the Most High experiencing himself through Brandon Dixon or Brandon B. Dixon amongst 7-point-something billion other people all at the same time simultaneously. With that being said, is that my body is not me. If that makes sense. You are something greater than the body. This is just your suit. Just like you have a scuba suit when you want to deep sea dive. This is our suit to live in this particular third density reality. But you're not the suit. This is when you scuba diving, you're not the suit. You're the person inside the suit. Same thing with this. I'm the person inside. And the person inside, that's the connection to the Most High. And you can tap into that. You can invoke that by doing certain things. If you look at the word spiritual, look at the word. It means, if you look at the etymology, it means breath. Look at the word, ritual. It's a ritual. When you do your breathing exercises, you alkaline your blood, and you tap into. You're able to get online to that Most High, that particular frequency, that consciousness state. And that consciousness state, just like with a smartphone, when you're online, it does a whole bunch of different stuff. You can find out anything you want when you're online. Same thing with your mind. When your mind is online, you're in tap with that same frequency, that consciousness. Everything becomes clear. Everything what you want to manifest is right there. The answers are right there. So I'm saying that to say this. God, how they changed it, and just like with etymology, what people don't know, that's the nucleus or the origins of words. Words evolve and take on different meanings as the centuries go on. The word God changed to mean something outside of yourself over the centuries. That's not the original meaning. Our ancestors knew it means to invoke something, to get online. Let me tap in and put my phone online with and get Wi-Fi service. That way I could get all the answers. That means to invoke. Same thing with spiritual. Spiritual doesn't mean an entity outside of you. It means your breath. It means to breathe. It's a ritual in order to get online. Just like when you get online, first thing you got to do is power up the phone. You got to type in your code. That's your spiritualism. So hopefully y'all follow me, family. So in order to succeed, in order to create, in order to use that trestle board and make your plans come into fruition, you must first understand what God is. And God is action. When you invoke, you're doing action. Nothing moves in this world without action. Everything is moving. Even if you're sitting still right now, the cells are moving rapidly. It's a vibration. In fact, you're not a solid. You're all energy. You're energy. I don't want to get too deep, but everything is movement in this particular density. So as you move and as you do things, that is your God. That is what you're here to do. You're here to create. You're here to multiply and be fruitful, not to enjoy yourself. Now, you're here to enjoy yourself as well, but you enjoy yourself through the work that you create. Nothing is more satisfying than looking at your work and marveling at your work. For some kind of reason, we've been convinced and social engineered to marvel at other people's work and live vicariously and live secondhand. We go spend thousands of dollars to go see a building that somebody else built, and we think that's success. We go around the world to see something somebody else created, and then call that success. Oh, I went on vacation, I seen such and such. That's that person's legacy. Where's yours? So we kind of been social engineered and convinced to live outside of what we're supposed to originally be. And that is many creators. We are created in the image and likeness of God. If God is the ultimate creator, then what are we? We are many creators. If you want to live in line with yourself and be yourself again, you have to embrace these techniques. Now, I know that we're inside of a creation, but that's why I preach what's called bimentalism. Yes, I understand that this particular society is set up against, it's systematically set up against most people. Cool, but you're smart enough, and I believe that you're smart enough to work and figure out the video game and succeed and beat the game. Why not? You're smart enough. And at the same time, when I mean by bimentalism, hey, never lose sight of, hey, I know this is all BS, but I'm smart enough to succeed inside of this. And when I succeed inside of this, because you're not, let's knock it off with I don't believe with these radical military type guys. You're not going to overthrow the government. Knock it off. What army, you're at home on your computer talking about overthrowing the government. That's stupid. Why not, succeed within? Those are for people that don't have the actual working tools, or don't have the patience, or don't have the knowledge or know-how to succeed within the game. Go within. Neutrality is the secret, and we'll get to that at a different time. But I'm giving y'all bits and pieces of what this is. If you want to come on this side, be successful within the game, and that's what this power of ownership is about. I'm going to show y'all the keys, and I've had mild success. And watch my progress as I build this go from the 10% to the 1%. And y'all gonna see this happen. Set your watch and watch. Watch as I go from the 10% to the 1%. And you can do the same thing. And I want you to do it. I want to see y'all on that side. Follow me, and you should see it happen. But you got to do things. You got to take action into your own hands. My second catchphrase, and I'm going to go ahead and let y'all go, is personal responsibility is your only savior. And I put on Facebook a couple of weeks ago I said, what if you are the Messiah that you're waiting on? What if that's the whole key to the game? And I fought that for a long time in my life, waiting for a superhero to come save me, denying my mission until I decided, hey, look, I'm gonna just go ahead and be the change that I want to be, and I want to see. Let me go ahead and live it. And if I get killed, I get killed. So what? Is it worth living if being mediocre? No, I'm gonna go for the gusto. And if people don't like it, hey, I'm gonna make it hard for you, because like I said, I didn't beat a lot of my shortcomings and grown into my role. But why not be the change that you want to see? And why not take responsibility instead of waiting on somebody else to do it for you? Why not just take the responsibility, and I mean respond to your ability, which all of us have the ability to be that Messiah, to be that change. Even if you're heavily Christian, even the Christ, even the Nazarene said, works that I do, ye shall do greater works. What, he thought that was just idle talk? Nah, you shall do greater works. Let's do it. Stop waiting on somebody else to do it for you. Just get up and do it. And be that 1%. You don't have to be outside of this, you don't have to be outside of this particular structure in order to do that. You can do it within. And then once I got that particular power, or you got that particular power, now you can change. Now you can make supplemental and incremental changes. So this is my thought. Comment below. Let me know what y'all think. Again, I'm not the debater. I'm actually the internalization, and I'm going to do what I say I'm going to do. And y'all going to watch me do it. So those guys that's, I see those channels, all they want to do is debate. All the intellectual, pardon my friend, masturbation. It doesn't do our community good. Let's see. I want y'all to be about what y'all talk about. And most of the people that's sitting there and debating back and forth about knowledge, stupid. Unless you internalize and actually do what you're saying, I want to see it. Especially with these millennials now, millennials and Generation Z and Generation Y, they want to see it. I don't want to hear you talk about it. It's good to get knowledge and all that stuff, but debating stuff that's 2,000 years old and y'all sitting there having a 4-hour debate, I could take a 4-hour course on something in YouTube and learn a skill and make me some money and better my situation as opposed to listen to you back and forth and y'all don't have any conclusion 4 hours later. You just wasted my time. That's what's happening in our community. I wanted you to take this 45 minutes or an hour that I keep y'all every week, and I wanted to get y'all motivated and actually doing something for your community, doing something in your life, doing something that's actually going to make you better and make your family better and make your situation better. Visualize it. Close your, like I say every week, close your eyes and think about yourself in a better place. Think about yourself not having to worry about where the next dollar is coming from, knowing that you already gonna be successful, not knowing that whenever you crank up your car, it's gonna work, knowing that whenever you need a new car is gonna come, knowing that you can go out and get whatever you need to get. That's what happens when you come on this side and you learn how to sell and market, and you learn how to go within yourself. You're never gonna be without. That's the promise. That's the covenant. So I'm going to leave y'all with that, family. And I'm going to go ahead and say peace. Don't forget that God is a verb, and I stand on my square on that. Personal responsibility is your only savior. Peace.